Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon, and today we're looking at the assault gun style play of a tank destroyer. We're following around Heihei in the JP2. We are on Himmelsdorf, and he's going to show a style that's just drastically different from what most people think of when they think of tank destroyers. So he gets to a spot where it looks like it could be a lot of trouble for him. But he's using that rise in front of him to be hauled down, and the upper casemate of the JP2 is surprisingly strong. It's actually effective to about 250 millimeters of penetration. Even though the listed armor thickness isn't that great, it's that angle that's so awesome that offers a ton of protection. In between shots, he is angling and he is hoping for either them putting a shot into his nearly impenetrable mantlet or increasing the angle on his upper casemate to increase the effective armor values. But it all depends on him being hauled down. So at the beginning of the game, he used the great speed and mobility of the JP2 to quickly get into this position before his enemies could set up. He went into Tank Alley, so he can't be flanked. There's just no room to do so. And while in this situation, the JP2 just has such a shocking advantage over everything in front of him that the game quickly rolls out of hand for the red team. So there are a couple things that you're looking for when you're looking for a tank destroyer that can play in the assault gun role. You're not sitting back and sniping, you're really taking the fight to the enemy. And the first one is some amount of protection. We can see those are the ricochet marks off of the JP2. They're just bouncing off the mantlet constantly. And the guys in front of them even gave up at one point because they just could not damage him from the front. The next thing that's going to be very important is some amount of mobility. You can't just take like the Ferdinand and go in an assault gun role. You're just going to be flanked and killed. The tank is too slow to really respond to anything. The last thing you're going to want is some sort of firepower advantage, whether that's a strict damage per minute basis where you can just trade shots and gun them down, or whether that's alpha where you can quickly tip the engagement to your advantage. Here are some ideas that you can use for some tank destroyers that can play in the assault gun manner. The SU-122-44 is pretty much perfect at tier 7 and has a great amount of protection and 400 alpha with great speed and great damage per minute. The JP2, which we saw here. The SU-152 and ISU have that overwhelming alpha. They don't have the greatest protection or mobility, but they do have the greatest alpha where you can just plow something down really quickly. The Foch 50 is a surprising amount of armor at tier 9 and that awesome mobility, not so much alpha. The Foch 155 has that autoloader where you just walk up to a huge tank and cycle him out. The SU-122-54 has an awesome amount of mobility, not the best protection, not the best alpha, but it's still a solid contender for this playstyle. And finally, the Object 263 has a very strong front that's difficult for most people to penetrate, and it does not have alpha, but it has a pretty good damage per minute gun to go with its mobility. Again, there are other tanks that fit that role. Those are the ones that just come to my mind immediately that I enjoy playing in this playstyle. If you want to take a look at the JP2, Heihei wrote up a review of it. There is a link in the comments. Go check it out. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting.